We've all been in those situations where we feel like we're being managed instead of supported, right? Or controlled instead of actually empowered. But what if there's a different way to do things? Well, today we're going to dive into accompaniment, a really powerful shift in how we can work together, one that puts learning and genuine support right at the heart of everything we do. Let's see what that really means. Wow, this quote, it really hits hard. It calls the old way of doing things spiritually bankrupt, a system that gets its energy through domination. Just think about that for a second. It's a model that literally drains people instead of lifting them up. And it's such a stark contrast to the approach we're about to explore. So the big question is, how do we actually move beyond this old model of domination? Well, it's not a small tweak. It requires a fundamental shift in how we see each other and interact with each other. We're talking about creating an entirely new kind of culture. And this slide just lays out that contrast perfectly. On one side, you have the old social order, right? It's all built on domination and control, which of course leads to suspicion and manipulation. But on the other side, we have this new culture, and it's founded on completely different principles: mutual support and shared learning. This isn't just about being nicer, it's a huge shift from seeing people as resources to be managed to seeing them as partners on a shared journey. So this new culture, it's all built around one central idea: accompaniment. Now, you might have heard this word before, but in this context, it takes on a really specific and, honestly, a very powerful meaning. So accompaniment isn't just a technique you learn. It's a whole culture. It's an environment where learning becomes the main way things get done. And the goal? It's to bring more and more people into the process so they can participate in a way that's meaningful and informed. It's all about growing together, a collective effort. Let's just pause here for a second and really think about this. When was the last time you felt truly supported by someone? I'm not talking about being supervised or managed, but genuinely, truly supported. What did that feel like? Well, that feeling is right at the heart of what accompaniment is all about. And here's where the difference becomes crystal clear. Accompaniment is mutual. It's a shared journey. It's about walking alongside someone and learning together. This is so different from that old, top-down, controlling kind of relationship. So let's be super clear. Accompaniment is about empowerment. It is not supervision, and it is not management. It is a complete paradigm shift. So you might be thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but where do we even start? Well, building this kind of culture doesn't begin with some big corporate program. It actually starts with each one of us on our own personal journey. Here's a really simple 3-step framework to get started. First, just take some time to reflect and define a couple of clear goals for yourself. Maybe something spiritual, intellectual, or service-oriented. Second, share them with a friend or a peer. This isn't for judgment, it's for encouragement. And third, just commit to one small, tangible habit this week that moves you forward. It's all about making growth a conscious, active process. This whole process helps us develop something called a learning posture. This is a mindset where we start seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as real opportunities to learn. And that takes 2 things: humility, knowing we don't have all the answers, and perseverance, to just keep going even when things get tough. Okay, so once we've started this journey for ourselves, the next step is to extend that same spirit outward. So how do we mentor and guide other people using this principle of accompaniment? This quote is such a powerful reminder about our intentions. When we accompany someone, our words and our actions have to be free from self-interest, from any hint of suspicion. It's all about building a foundation of genuine trust where everybody involved feels safe and supported. This little guide here is a fantastic roadmap. The goal is to encourage initiative, not control the process. And why is that so important? Because when we direct every single action, we actually stifle growth. But when we offer non-judgmental support, we empower people to find their own solutions. And that means we have to actively avoid all those traps of the old model like suspicion or manipulation. So we've talked about the personal journey and the one-on-one dynamic. Now, what does this look like when it all comes together in a group setting, like a team project or in a community? This is where the theory gets real, where the rubber meets the road. Imagine you're planning a service project. In a culture of accompaniment, you'd brainstorm ideas together. You'd assign roles and set timelines collaboratively, not because someone said so. You'd pair more experienced people with newer folks, not to supervise them, but to accompany them. And so importantly, you would reflect on the whole experience as a group to make sure you capture all that learning. And this, right here, this is a key takeaway. Accompaniment is not a one and done training session. It is a continuous culture of support that has to be actively built and maintained over time. So, how do you make it last? To make this culture sustainable, you need some simple systems in place. Things like monthly reflection circles, where everyone can share their progress and their challenges. Maybe personal learning journals for that weekly reflection. And a buddy system. That peer-to-peer motivation is absolutely vital. These kinds of structures are what help turn a great idea into a lived reality. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this question. Just imagine for a moment what would happen if you replaced domination with mutual support in your own life. What would that look like? How could a real culture of accompaniment transform your team, your family, or your community? It's a powerful idea and definitely one that's worth exploring.